Hey guys, I'm Robyn Richford and we're here at the Women of Power Running on Empty event. Now this event is all about self-care and we've got 5 amazing panellists. So we're behind the scenes and I'm going to catch up with them and have a little bit of fun. Let's go get them. So we're just catching up with Simone and she does so many wonderful things. I'm going to let you explain it because I just know that I will not do it injustice. So yeah, what do you get up to?
My name's Simone Powderly. I'm first above all a creator. I love doing all things creative. I'm also a model. I predominantly do stuff with natural hair, about curly hair.
Because it's so beautiful, why not use it?
I wasn't always like this. And I'm also a mental health advocate. So my background professionally is mental health. So I've worked with children who experience trauma. I've worked in a rehab. I've pretty much done it all. And then I've had like my personal experience. So yeah, I guess above all, I'm just a person of influence with like all my passions.
Yeah.
And that's what I strive to do. Just do things I love, which I'm thankful for. Actually.
Yeah, and it definitely comes across. Like when I was following you, I was like going into all of your different ventures. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I always say, my friends always say, Simone, when I watch your Instagram, I'm exhausted. Like you do so much. I was like, I know.
I was like, does this girl sleep? Like, does she actually sleep? It's amazing though, and I think that is the way that everyone should be living, really, and just go for their passions, because why not, right?
And the reason why I say that, it's kind of hard for me to talk about my mental health with kind of explaining what it is, because all my friends were like, well, like, what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Like, how did you get it? So my childhood trauma started from the age of 7 to I was about 13, where I was sexually abused from a loved one. Then I was just kind of getting through life, and in my 20s, I just had a complete breakdown. Opened up to my family about it, and then I remember I went to the doctors, kept saying I was sick, I was tired, and then she said, can you fill this form in? And it was like one of them forms that kind of check, are you okay, you're feeling suicidal? And I just burst out crying and said, I know what it is. So then I went into therapy, and that's when the whole like journey started, and it was tough. Like, it wasn't all pretty, it was dark. I had to kind of revisit, and I just wanted to push forward with kind of wanting to help people. Like, that's my passion. I run projects with teenage girls. I want to create a safe space, but I knew that I had to go on my own journey. And just to speak about what post-traumatic stress disorder is, it's basically flashbacks, triggers, nightmares, panic attacks. So I was noticing it when I was in relationships, so my triggers were happening when I was kind of trying to be intimate. In work placement, so at work I didn't like how men would speak to me, and because I look kind of young, I used to get really angry, like, don't talk to me like that. Going out with my friends, like the clothes I'd wear baggy clothes because I just didn't want to like show my body, and that's also why I kind of got into modelling to help me, because people see my platform like, oh, like, Simone, you're so happy, you're so smiley, like you model. I'm like, no, that was actually like my form of therapy, because I wanted to feel comfortable in my body. So that's kind of a little bit about my mental health, but I definitely would say it was a long process. I'm 29 now, going to be 30, and it was a hard fight, and I still every day feel like I'm fighting, but in a more positive way, because I want to help people, because I reckon I'm here now.
Okay, so today's obviously all about self-care and kind of looking after yourself. So I'm going to put you on a stranded desert island.
Okay, go for it.
What 3 things would you take with you?
Conditioner for my hair.
I love it, yes.
I love music, so I would need, I guess, I wouldn't mind not having my phone, so I'd go for like a classic like CD player and just bring loads of my CDs, like really like keep it old school. Yeah. I can have one more thing.
Yeah, I'll let you have one more. That can count as one.
Avocado.
Back in those days, we didn't really talk about mental health, and it wasn't really something that we understood as a generation until like the last couple of years, where more people are starting to talk about it. So I kind of grew up my whole life not knowing why I thought the things I thought, or why, having the voices in your head, or having panic attacks in your bedroom. And it took me, I'd say, until the age of 24, and I was living in London, and I was working, and I was getting stressed, and I decided to try and take my own life. And then I finally had like something go off in my head. I was like, okay, so maybe I need to start talking to people about this, telling my parents, telling my friends. And that's kind of when my mental health like journey towards recovery started. But since then I've kind of turned to art as my form of therapy. I found it very hard going to therapy sessions, and being on medication wasn't always right for me, and it was a very difficult time.
Alright guys, so I've managed to grab the wonderful Venus, and I've been following her for a long time. She's an artist and illustrator and has an amazing social media presence.
Oh, thank you.
So when you were younger, have you always wanted to be an artist, or what did you want to be when you were young?
Yeah, I think I always knew I wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
I was so bad at school. Like, I'm just like a creative person, so I just looked at everything in a creative way. So maths, I don't even know my 2 times tables now, and I'm like 27 years old. So I think I was always drawing, and I knew art was the path for me.
Yeah, and you knew iPhones were coming and you didn't need the times tables anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
To get on with it. I was at uni at the time and just kind of put my head down, worked. And then this year it actually flared up again really badly, and it was the worst it had ever been. And I still to this day think my friend is hilarious for this. I was sat in Wagamama's in an airport about to go to Lisbon on a press trip for a festival, and I just completely broke down in tears, and it must have looked like we'd gone through this traumatic breakup about to get on a flight. But I kind of just said to him, like, look, I get this really bad anxiety and I don't know what it is, it's just I get these panic attacks and whatever. And opening up to him and hearing his response of being so open and happy and trying to just get me out of it was actually really nice. And he then kind of opened up to me, and then speaking to other friends and family, I found out kind of where it had come from history wise.
Alright guys, so we're just catching up with Jessica behind the scenes. Now Jessica is a style and fashion blogger, as you can probably see. I was like, I love your boots, I love your trousers, I love your jumper. Now you have one day, 24 hours to do anything you want with it. What do you do?
Oh my God, I don't know. I would probably go to New York and just eat.
Eat everything inside.
Well, it's like 16 hours of flying,
Yeah.
and then just eat for like 5-6 hours.
Brilliant. That is time
That is
well
literally-
spent. That is time well spent, 100%.
Have a few drinks on the flight.
Yeah.
Get loads of food.
Perfect. And then you're in New York.
Literally.
And then you can't get back in the 24 hours, so it's fine.
Okay, but then you
can
just stay and go to
you
some
just,
bars.
that's it, you just
Yeah.
have to stay. It's just such a drag. Alright guys, I have managed to grab the beautiful Elise. So Elise is a beauty and fashion blogger, and especially skincare. I have been looking at your Instagram.
My thing.
It is your thing. I love it. You're like, it's bedtime with Elise.
Wash my face.
Yeah. But skincare is so important, and it's something I think a lot of people have struggled with. I know I have, and still am. I just don't feel like you can ever get it right.
It's a lot of testing,
Isn't
And
it?
you finally find, at the age of nearly 30, I finally found my thing.
You've
my
got
routine.
you've got your routine, and it's on Instagram if you want to see
Every
it.
night washing my face.
Yeah, literally, I love it. It's so good.
I came from a very kind of strict Asian background where you don't show emotions, you don't cry, you just carry on. I think there was a turning point a couple of years ago where depression got really bad, ended up in hospital, and I was on the mental health ward, and one of the doctors said to me, depression is just like an illness, like you have the flu, you can get over it.
Yeah.
And that's when like I realised I was depressed and that I could do something about it. And there's a massive stigma, especially like in my community, with like mental health. And so then I addressed it, and then I referred myself, and I did CBT, group therapy, one-to-one, and now I'm feeling a lot better. Now I know the triggers.
Hello. So my journey is that of probably call it postpartum depression. So I had my son 7 years ago, and after that, the first few months, I was like, is it meant to be like this? Am I meant to be feeling like? I know you're meant to sort of feel the baby blues after in the first week, but it sort of carried on and on and on, and I kind of felt like I lost my identity. And I didn't think that you were meant to feel so low, and I didn't want to kind of admit, I didn't use the word sort of depression then, I didn't really talk about it, I just thought I'm tired, or then I kind of had a lot of intrusive thoughts, which it's horrible because you can't control them, they just come and you're just like, oh, get out of my head. Or I'd talk about things a bit more to my family and friends, so I kind of started to do that. And the main thing that helped me was the exercise. It was the running, it was the working out. I wasn't going crazy with it, I just started to notice the correlation between my mood and the exercise. And then I thought, you know what, this is a really powerful tool.
Alright guys, I am here with the wonderful Jemma.
Hi.
She is a PT and fitness enthusiast. honestly, your page is incredible.
I'm not like mad, like get up, have to exercise, I really want to get down the gym. For me, it is about seeing it as a kind of therapy.
Yeah.
So I will be, right, today, how am I going to fit my little bit of movement in? How am I going to get my heart rate up? Is there any slots in the day that I can find to get a little workout in just to help my mind? Because if I don't do it, I notice that my mood just
Absolutely.
goes down a bit. But yeah, so I see it as literally like a kind of an alternative therapy.
I'm going to do for you is I'm going to put you on a deserted island.
Okay, cool.
You've got 3 things to take with you.
Oh God, right.
What do you take?
Okay, I need to write things down, so I'd have a pad.
Yeah.
I would have no kids, or like, am I taking my kids with me?
I mean, it's up to you. Do you want them with you?
I should have said kids first. I'll take my kids.
Same, and who's experienced brain fog, who kind of gets what I mean when I say that. It's just this really strange mental sensation. It almost feels like you're gliding when you're walking. It's just really odd. And from there, it got progressively worse. I was explaining to some of the girls earlier that I'd literally be walking towards you, but then end up there. And I'm like, but I'm walking here, what's going on with my body? My legs would give way, I was achy, I was what I like to call chronic fatigue. So tired, so tired. And I was like, what's going on? So I'm going to the doctor and I'm asking, these are my symptoms, so cure me. And the doctor's saying, well, it doesn't, we sent you for your bloods and stuff, we've done all that, and it doesn't look like there's anything going on. Okay, that's fine. Let me go home and kind of take a deep breath, have a glass of water. But the symptoms are continuing. In fact, they're getting worse. My sleep is interrupted. Obviously, it affects work. It affects going out because you don't know if you're going to be tired by the time you get to where you're going. So I was like, I need to just stay at home to avoid that. Before you know it, I'm just not even interacting. I'm Googling, the Google, diagnosing myself with all sorts. And I would go to the doctor a lot and kind of say, okay, so I'm going to let you know what I've got. I'm dying. And I think we need to arrange this so that I don't die. The doctor's like looking at me really funny. No, there's nothing wrong with you. Back and forth to hospital. I was a wreck, literally a physical wreck. And I knew there was something wrong with me. I knew that it wasn't just like, depression or anxiety, because I wasn't necessarily specifically going for anything. That's how I felt at the time. Until went to doctors and they told me to go and get my minerals looked at, and found out that I was really deficient in vitamin D, like really deficient. But as you can imagine, if I was in that loop for a good 4 to 5 months, I've already entered a state of health anxiety that's almost a space of no return. Because even with them telling me that I had vitamin D deficiency, I felt like it was more. By that time I'd already, the Google and me were best friends. I'd already diagnosed myself with everything. So it was really, really difficult to get myself out of that mental cycle.
Okay, so we're going to play a little game, and it is 30 questions in 30 seconds.
I'm 30 this year, so
this is perfect. So it said this or that, so it's what you would prefer.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 2 options, and then you just pick one. And we're
Do I go this? What do I say?
So I'll give you 2 options. So say
I'll just say it.
and
Like
you
banana or strawberry, and I'll go strawberry.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah? And we're going to see how many you can get done. Are you ready?
I'm very competitive.
Are you? Okay, so we've had 17 and 18.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's see it. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Dogs or babies?
Babies.
French fries or salad?
French fries.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Popcorn or ice cream?
Popcorn.
Heels or flats?
Flats.
Run or walk?
Walk.
Theatre or cinema?
Theatre.
Girls' night in or girls' night out?
Girls' night out.
Trousers or dresses?
Trousers.
Morning or night?
Night.
Holidays, beach or city?
Beach.
Sweet or savoury?
Sweet.
Take out or eat out?
Taken.
Music, take out. Music, 90s or noughties?
90s.
Cocktails or beer?
Cocktails.
Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
TV or radio?
Radio.
Hey, and we're done. 17. It's a tie. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not
I
bad.
feel like that must be like as many as you can get. 'Cause
Yeah,
everyone's around
yeah.
there. But I'm still hoping that someone will be able to do it there too.
I felt quite heartbroken with my friends, to be honest. Like when I told them about it, they were like, "But like you're living life, like don't worry about it." And I was like, "But guys, like I'm battling with this." Kind of broke my family because of what I came out with. So I just wanted it back. Like I actually hate the fact that I told them, because it was just like everyone was around me and it was just, I felt like running on empty. Literally, I was just like, what have I done? I want to just deal with this by myself. So I think, friends and family, they were just like, come on, like get on with your life, live your life and stuff like that. And it's like, no, like it's affecting my life. Just because it happened when I was like 7 till I was 13, like it's still happening. Like I'm having flashbacks. It feels real.
My friends and family found out like when I was in hospital trying to overdose. My mum was like over the bed, and I was like, oh fuck, shit. Because my mum's like a harsh woman. Like she's like, what the fuck did you think you were doing? Like why didn't you talk to me? I was just there like, oh damn it. And then my dad's just sat there like. I was like, oh dad, I'm so sorry. And then explaining it to my brothers, and you know, that's probably the hardest thing for me, was waking up and then having to explain when you didn't really want to be there to explain. And yeah, with the friends thing, again, they found out the same way, and a lot of them just stopped talking to me, which was the hardest thing. Again, probably because they didn't know how to address it, not because they didn't care. And at the time I thought, wow, you obviously don't care about me. I was obviously in a really bad state, and I thought, I want you to be there for me right now, but you're not. But looking back now, I think, okay, well, you obviously, it wasn't that you didn't care, it's that you were mentally not ready to deal with it either.
I had one friend who knew, who was in hospital with me. I kept it to myself. I didn't want anyone to worry about me. I didn't want to be a burden on anybody. I think it's the whole upbringing as well, keeping it in. I went back to work 2 days later, nobody knew. I just, you just kind of carry on, but then you're fighting something inside, but you keep you keep a mask on. And I didn't want to tell anyone until I knew I was okay. Right. So I told my friends like 6 months later. Right. And then the reaction was, why didn't you tell us? They felt guilty, and that's exactly what I was trying to avoid. Yeah. And then family-wise, I didn't tell anyone at all until last night. Just because I knew that we might touch on it, and I was doing damage control. I didn't want them to hear like through the internet. So I was literally up till 4 a.m. talking to my sister, and I think they have a lot of questions. But I started the conversation with like, I'm okay now. You don't have to worry about me now. Whereas if I'd said it at the time, they would have been so worried, and I couldn't deal with that guilt on top of what I was dealing with already.
Right. Why you feel like that? That's why you feel like that. And I was like, yeah, maybe it is. But the feeling was too heavy, and I was just carrying, like, you know, when you feel it there, or it's in your tummy, or it's in your neck, like that. It lit like it's a physical feeling, and it was all day, every day. And I was like, this isn't right. Like, it's not because I'm tired. I actually had a good night's sleep last night. I actually, I've had quite a good day, but I can't shake that numbness, or it was like trying to get them to understand the severity.
So now I would like to know, if you had one day, because obviously we're talking a little bit about self-care and running empty, if you had one day to do anything you like, unlimited funds, what would you do with your day?
Grab all my nearest and dearest.
Yeah.
Jump on a flight.
Yeah.
And go to the beach and just chill.
Chill.
Good music.
Yeah.
Good food. Good company, and that's all you need.
Love it.
That's all you need.
It's all about the loved ones, isn't it? And that's definitely self-care, for sure, isn't it?
With our SPF.
With your SPF and your water spray on the beach.
Like, remembering that Instagram is a highlight reel, like I think a lot of people get caught up in thinking that everyone else's life is so great and perfect, when actually everyone's got their own battles, it's just what they're choosing to share. Yeah. So like, it's okay not to be okay.
Try not to dictate your life around Instagram is the main thing. Like, try and, it is there for you, and you can dictate what you look at and what you bring into your life and what you give out. Don't let any man tell you can't do what you want to do, and don't ever let a man dictate what you do either.
Also, acknowledge your feelings, don't suppress them, because if not, you'll live in this like state of numbness for years, and that's not living. Yeah. So just understand yourself. That's what we're talking about in our group. Like, and even if it's a bad day, acknowledge that bad day. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I learnt this year, like after all these years, is just to not talk about myself negatively in my own head, and not make up, I think we were saying it in our group, like, don't make up stuff that you think someone else thinks of you, because it's just not, you're making it up.
So yeah, if you are going through something, or you haven't even realised you're going through something, like, just take time, just own your truth. It is a roller coaster, and I wish you love.